And all right, everyone. So I got one of the newer members on the team who is absolutely crushing it. Her name is Cloe, and we've been working together for the last, I think, like 5.5, 6 weeks or so. And she's doing amazing. Such a great member on the team and as a part of the community as well. She's always helping other people. But yeah, without further ado, welcome, Chloe. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you so much, Adrian, for this this call. It means
For sure, for sure. So, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear about how you were able to achieve your success. And we're going to start off with just before meeting me. How did you find me? How did you find Meraki? Yeah, let's start with that.
to be honest, at first, I wasn't looking for a coach. It all started when I got so fed up about my weight. I started by incorporating walking and drinking more water into my daily habits. And we kind of talked about this on our first call. And naturally, by taking more walks, I was listening to a lot more podcasts about health and fitness. I learned about all kinds of topics such as gut microbiome, how to improve brain health, how to improve sleep, how to master growth mindset, etc. And I started doing my own research on the different topics and just, getting introduced to the topic again about health and fitness and just everything. And then my journey progressed to changing my eating habits. I was looking for healthy recipes on Instagram and TikTok, and that led me to weight loss. A lot of the recipes were meant for weight loss, and finally I got interested into weight loss, and that's when I found you through Instagram.
Mm,
So that's
interesting.
basically how I found you.
I didn't know. All right. So, well, I'm not surprised at the same time because I know like ever since you joined the team, you were into self-development. So it makes sense how this how it led to us meeting together. Nice.
Absolutely.
So, love to hear, like, where were you, Chloe, before meeting me in terms of your health and fitness?
I was at a point in my life where you can say I was prioritizing everything but my health.
Hmm.
I had reached my highest weight. I was in denial that I had let myself go, and letting myself get to that bad situation. I was ashamed. I never wanted anyone to take photos of me anymore. That's when it really hit me that there's something that I have to correct, and I would just hide behind my feelings. The thing about me is that I grew up being very active as a kid. I was never skinny, but I was fit and lean, and I never had to think about losing weight. I also grew up a little bit about my background with a mom being very strict about food and portions, and with a sister that was always skinny her whole life. So the first time that I really started to care about my health and fitness was in Cégep, which was right after high school and right before university in Quebec. I took a fitness class that taught me a little bit about nutrition and how to build a proper workout, but it wasn't like the information that we're exposed to today. Anyways, like many people, I first gained a good amount of weight during COVID, and then I lost it pretty quickly by going on hikes. But then I regained the weight and lost it again pretty quickly, but by signing up for a CrossFit slash weightlifting gym class. And then I regained it again and tried to lose it through dieting and fasting.
Hmm.
But I never really stuck to one thing, and it wasn't sustainable. On
Got-
top of this, everyone around me was trying to help me and telling me their magic trick to losing weight or what had worked for them. And it was really overwhelming. I gained most of my excess weight in the last 2 to 3 years after the loss of three family members. And that was a really hard time for me. I had just finished university, just started working. And that's when I drowned myself in work. And because I was getting really good at my job from working so much, actually, I focused all my energy on my career and I put my health on the back burner. My biggest struggles at that time were eating past the point of being full, not eating regularly. I'd only eat once or twice a day. I told you this during our first call. I used to think breakfast would make me fat, so I didn't eat breakfast.
Hmm.
I was snacking a lot instead of eating balanced meals. Because I was so stressed with work and I didn't take the time to make meals and meal prep. I would just grab what was easy, a bag of chips, candy, whatever. It got to a point where I had trouble breathing. I literally felt my weight was strangling me. I was getting exhausted from doing the simplest tasks like walking up one flight of stairs or doing groceries. So definitely not where I wanted to be.
Hmm. So first, my condolences with the family members. I'm sorry to hear about that, Chloe. And I could just hear like throughout the last years, it's not that you didn't take action. You done CrossFit, like you mentioned, like you were doing hikes, but it was more so not so much that you couldn't lose weight, it's that you would lose weight and then you would gain weight back. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And I didn't stick to anything in particular. That's the biggest like difference that I see now. Like now I'm sticking to walking and training, doing my workouts 3 times a week or 4 times a week, whatever. But I'm sticking to it, and it's not like it's not a change that I'm doing just temporarily to lose weight. I want to keep that as a habit
Hmm.
going forward.
Hmm. And I know when you mentioned like just being like drowning in work, like would you say is because just to ask again, like it was the last couple of years and it was work, like being really focused on your work. And you said you did, you're like in the accounting field, right? Like you were really focused on that. And being so focused on that, you felt like your health was taking a backseat. Is that right?
Yeah, well, actually, being a woman in like starting your career is really hard already. I feel like it's very competitive. I'm working for a big four right now. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but it's very competitive. And I have colleagues that work after hours, and they don't do it so that it's harder for me or anything like that. They do it because it's just that's how it is to work in a stressful like career. Everyone kind of like is pushed to their max all the time, right? So
Mm. So you've been able to achieve a lot of success in a relatively short period of time, Chloe. Can you tell everyone like just weight loss and besides from weight loss, what you've been able to achieve inside my program?
absolutely. So the first things would be internal results. At the beginning of a weight loss journey, there's not a lot of noticeable changes in the mirror, if you want to say it that way. It's really about mindset, changing your mindset around the relationship you have with food, on working out, on weight loss, and just on myself, like having more confidence and being beyond everything, just believing in myself. When I say that I had a mindset change with my relationship with food, I used to think certain foods were good or bad, or I should eat this and not that. For working out, for example, I thought we needed to go to the gym a certain amount of times per week or a certain amount of hours per week, versus just being active and just like doing your best every day and showing up for yourself every day. But apart from that, external physical results, I stopped being bloated after eating meals. That was like one of the biggest things for me, because I used to think I was cursed or something, you know. But I'm happy that stopped. I started fitting better in my clothes, and I would say lastly, and it's not the most important, I lost 18 to 19 pounds in only 6 weeks. And all I got to say about that is it wasn't that easy to get there. I actually worked really hard to get there.
I know you did. Yep. So I'm really curious to know because you've done weight loss protocols before, right? And like I can hear like this is finally something that is solving the entire problem. You feel like it's something that's long term. I could really hear it's something that really is working for you, what you're learning from me in the program. What do you think is like the biggest differences that you've been able to adopt in my program and what you learned from me versus what you done before, Chloe?
I'd say the main things I've learned from you were all related to nutrition. I think that's the aspect that I wasn't focusing on in the last methods that I tried to lose weight with. You know, like I would, for example, I would go on a lot of hikes, or I was doing intense workouts, right? CrossFit and weightlifting. Or I tried dieting. That was more towards the end of where I was like more desperate to lose weight. But from your program, I started understanding what my body needs from food. So, like the macros, proteins, carbs, and fats, instead of eating to out of boredom or to treat myself, I would eat with a purpose. Um, I started accepting more that there's no foods that make me fat. It's more about the amount of calories that, will cause weight gain. And just having a balanced day. So if I know that I'll be eating out, I'll eat less for the rest of the day, but I'm still going to make sure to have a certain amount of calories and proteins. So
Mm,
it was bad for me. That changed everything. And um, yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah, like there's so many people that I speak with that always think more activity is the solution, like doing a lot of cardio, doing like more CrossFit exercise. But then like you've been able to find the hack, right? And to say, needless to say, like exercise is important for sure, but we need a combination of like exercise and proper eating. And like I know you worked hard, but at the same time, like you worked hard and the results came relatively quick, all right,
Yeah.
because you're implementing the right strategy. And yeah, this is good to hear from you that you've been leveraging more of the nutrition and getting the results you've been looking for. Yeah. So
I'm
last
the type
question
of
here.
person, sorry to cut you. I'm the type of person that gets motivated by my own results also. So not only was I motivated to do this program, but I was also motivated by my own, kind of challenges that I make for myself and stuff. So yeah, that's what helped me the most in achieving such fast results, if you want to say that.
Yep. So with any kind of goal, we have to be self-motivated. And one thing that's really good with you, like coaching you as a client, is like you said, you're very driven and you're very self-accountable, Chloe. Right. Like I will keep you accountable, but at the same time, like what you just mentioned, like you're motivated by your own results, right? And for everyone to know, like Chloe's always checking off her boxes, her habits and things she has to do. And as I always say, like when we focus on the process, like as a byproduct, the outcome will come from it, right? And it wasn't always like every single week you would lose weight. There's some weeks where it's a little slower and stuff, but you kept sticking with the process. And that's so important, right? You do get motivated from the results, but you still do the work that you need to do day in and day out. And that's the most important thing. Yep. So what would you say? Because as you know, like on my page, there's a lot of people that were in the position you were just 6 weeks ago, Chloe. Like
Mhm.
I have so many conversations with individuals that have done things before. They've done CrossFit like you, Chloe. They've done diets, they've done fat dieting, but they can't figure it out. Number one, there's many individuals that can't actually lose as much weight as you did, right? Or at least in such a short amount of time. And it's crazy because people would love to have 1 pound of weight loss per week, and you did like times two, times three of that, right?
Yeah.
What's your recommendation for people that are struggling to lose weight and also finding a balance with their career and fitness? Because as you know, like my page is for women that are career driven women that are really having a hard time with that. They lost their health because of that. They had their health on the back burner. You were exactly in that position. If you didn't join my program, I hate to say this, but it is true. You would be in the same position, right? There's a good
Or
chance it would be worse, right?
yeah, probably
Before we
worse.
before we even hit record. So it's so powerful to actually have you go through this transmutation yourself, but just to inspire other people listening to this, like what is your best recommendation for them and what would you tell them?
My recommendation is choose yourself. It's a little bit cheesy, but you got to prioritize your health and start now. Um, Before talking to you, Adrian, I was thinking of getting a coach at the end of August after I turned 26. I kind of figured it was the closest new year, and that's usually when people start thinking about New Year's resolution and stuff. And I wanted it to be a gift to myself. It's kind of disgusting to think of it like that as, you know, your weight loss journey as a gift. It's not a gift, it's something that you have to work for. But anyways, during my first call with you during towards the end of April, you asked me like why now and why do I want to start now rather than later. It really in that moment it clicked that that response would have been really stupid. And what I told you and what I will remember for the rest of my life is I've got nothing to lose at this point. I don't want to gain any more weight, and whatever I tried to do to lose weight on my own in the past, it maybe worked, but it wasn't sustainable. I wasn't able to keep the weight that I lost off. And what I wanted the most out of you and your program was to understand my body and how to have a healthier relationship with food.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it really hits me that, you know, I wouldn't be here where I am today if it wasn't for you and that call we had, because I wouldn't have lost 18 to 19 pounds already. And that's so much weight. Um, One of the things I do recommend Adrian as a coach and his program because of the personalized approach. I mean, you're super attentive, supportive. You really take the time to get to know us and to talk to us individually, and just hear us, what we have to say, what are our struggles at each stage of a weight loss journey. You know, my struggles at the beginning and my struggles now are not going to be the same.
Exactly.
Um, I first chose you because you worked with women that had um, very stressful careers, and I felt like you would understand me better than another coach because of it. But now that I know you, I choose you again because you're just genuine, you're knowledgeable, and you're willing to go the extra mile to get us to our end goal, you know. And you always have that in mind whenever you're talking to us is, you know, like, how can I help them to get to their goal? And I really appreciate that. Why I chose the program is, you know, it's flexible and it's simple. It's designed for success. It it also didn't require much to get started. But now that I've been in the program for a month and a half, I choose it again because of the learning and accountability aspects. I realized through you that you can only make changes once you really learn something and understood it. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you. That was amazing. And I think one of the things that stuck out with what you said earlier is taking action now versus taking action later in August. Because here's the way, and this is the way, like I'm very similar to who the people I work with. That's why we're working together, right? Um, Being able, like it's more so the cost of inaction, right? And here's the thing, you will take action anyways. Why not start earlier? Because time is the most valuable thing. You're anyways going to invest in yourself this year. That was what you decided. But why start later instead of starting right now? If something's on your mind, it wouldn't make sense to have it linger in your mind, because when something lingers on your mind, it's still bothering you day by day. And like
Yeah.
there's repercussions of not taking action, right? So I think one of the most powerful things you did for yourself is just like the power of taking action and trusting your gut feeling and just finding the right person, finding the right opportunity and acting on it. And I think for anyone listening here, like that's the thing, because we ourselves a lot of times get in our own way and we create fear from taking action. It could be many different fears, fears of failing, fears of embarrassing yourselves, fear of, so many different things. But in order to be the new version of yourself, you have to take the actions of the new version of yourself.
And on that topic, it's, you know, like when I was scrolling through your Instagram and seeing all of these client testimonials, I kept looking at them and being like, oh my gosh, this is so great. This person is doing so amazing. You know, like all the great things I could have said about them, I wouldn't necessarily say about me. But now, like, you know, like you asked me if it was okay to share my photos and everything, and if it was okay to like show my face and everything. And I told you, yeah, because I don't have anything to hide. You know, I think I fully accepted where I was in my weight loss journey, and that really helped me start
Yeah,
as well.
for sure. For sure. Super powerful stuff. This is just a start, Chloe. I mean, it's only 5, 6 weeks in and you're already down nearly 20 pounds. This is what most people will want to lose in 3, 4 months. I know this is not going to be our first conversation. I know in 3 months we're going to have another checkpoint, and then after like 6 months, and you're going to be in a completely different place. And like by the time you're 26 in August, it's a difference between legitimately, and it's crazy to think about this, where you're going to be down a minimum of 30, 40 pounds versus not losing weight if you didn't start. And it's phenomenal to actually think about that and what you're able to create for yourself. So I think one of the biggest takeaways listening to this and having this conversation with you is taking action. There's no perfect time for anything. If something's bothering you and you want to change something in your life, it's not one day, it's day one, right?
Yeah,
It's day one and making it work. So, Chloe, I appreciate you for coming on this call. It's super insightful, and you are very motivating as a person as well. Like your transformation motivates me, and it's going to motivate a lot of people as well. Yep. All
absolutely.
right.
Talks
We're talk soon, guys. Thank you so much.